To share the results of yesterday's investigation, we've come to the clubroom with Ayachi-san.
そうですか。そちらも手がかりはなしということですね。
そちらもってことは、あやちさんも？
ええ、七尾も不思議がってるくらいで、別のアルプがいるなら匂いでわかるというのですが。
Huh, Alps can do that. Wish we could get Akagi to help us then.
あれから姿を見せてくれないんだよね。
Akagi's name would be cleared if we actually found the culprit. But she's probably still holding a grudge. Even if she were around, it's possible she wouldn't help us.
ともかく簡単にはいかないということでしょう。
だね。地道な捜査を続けていくしかないのかも。
Well, we were assuming that victims would be popping up one after the other. That's one thing I'm glad to be wrong about. Even though our job is harder for it.
ねえ、あやちさん。もっと効率的な捜査方法はないものかな。
私が教えてほしいくらいですから。何か思いついたら相談させてもらいますね。
もちろん私も何か思いついたら報告するね。
ええ、明日からは週末になりますし、携帯で報告し合うようにしましょう。
Having made no progress during our meeting, we decide to simply loiter around the station again.
やっぱり見つからないね。
Nope. We were unlikely to get any results by going to the same place and doing the same thing as yesterday. But the fact that we haven't found anything means their attack was a one-time offense. As unfortunate as that is for Atsuma-san.
新たな被害者が出ないに越したことはないもんね。なんとかケアしてあげる方向へシフトしていく方が現実的なのかも。
Maybe. It doesn't feel right to leave the culprit at large, though.
ねえ、シュジー君。お父さんの様子、また見に行ってみない？
Yeah, I'd like to know if he's okay. His heart seemed pretty weak. A parent and child both getting holes in their hearts would be no laughing matter. Sorry about this.
私も気になってるから。もう帰ってきてるかな？
Yeah, judging by how he was yesterday, I doubt he's able to put us all into his work. Let's drop by the house and see, at least. And so we head to my house.
ひょっとしてシーバさん？
Oh, he's actually here.
おじさん！
やっぱり、いや、そうじゃないかと思って追いかけてきたんだ。
Oh, he seems cheerful today. I ought to be delighted, but the change is so massive that I'm in shock. He's carrying a rather large bag, too.
実はこれから寄ろうと思ってたところなんですけど。
悪いね、心配かけて。でも、もう大丈夫だから。
ならよかったですけど、修二君、いえ、星名さんのうちって犬を飼ってましたっけ？
ああ、これのことかい？
My dad lifts up the paper bag he's carrying. There's a dog raising set inside.
実は子犬を拾ってね、飼ってみることにしたんだよ。
そうだったんですか。
けど驚いたな。修二のこと今口走ったろ。
それは。
Has he remembered me?
子犬の名前、どうしてシーバさんが知ってたんだい？
はい。犬の名前だったんですか。
なんだ、違ったのかい。そりゃそうか。まだ誰にも教えてないもんな。
What a misleading name. And why does everyone keep naming things after me?
とにかく家にまた家族が待っていると思えば頑張れる気がしてきたよ。
おじいさん、 ええ、修二君のためにも頑張ってあげてくださいね。
なんだか父親になった気分だな。
My dad runs off more energetically than you would expect from a man his age. It seems he's found a new pet to love.
よかったね、修二君。
Geez, my dad never changes. We'd have world peace if everyone could move on as quickly as he does.
今すっごくほっとしてるくせに。それに犬の名前絶対関係あると思うな。
I don't know.
おこぎだ。
We spot her across the road a little ways down.
行っちゃった。私たちに気づかなかったのかな。
Don't know. I'm too busy wondering why she went down the same road as my dad just now. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. You sure about that? Right?
サノバウィッチ。
Chapter 86. I'd been assuming last night's encounter with Akagi was a coincidence, until a new victim appeared. A little earlier today, Soma-san got in touch with us through Ayachi-san. As soon as we heard the news, Tsumugi grabbed hold of me and set off running. No, this can't be. I don't want to believe it. He doesn't deserve this. Just yesterday, he was... Did something happen to his dad? My emotions turn from blazing hot to ice cold the moment we arrive at the scene. There has been no mistake, nor is this a dream. This is reality.
いらっしゃい。
A lethargic attitude and eyes like a dead fish. It's like I'm looking in a mirror. I look like this every day. I don't believe it.
七尾がたまたま路上で倒れているところを発見した時にはすでにこの状態だったそうです。
かなり強引なやり方をしたらしい。心をボロボロにされて完全に穴が開けられている。すまない。まさか君の父親が狙われるとは想像力が足りなかった。
It's not your fault. I didn't consider the possibility either. Even though I knew my dad's heart was weak. Even though I knew the culprit was targeting people with weakened hearts. This is my fault more than anyone else's. I made a stupid deal with Akagi without thinking, and as a result, my dad lost the one thing that kept him going. It's all my fault. Because of that, I have no right saying what I'm about to say. But the words leave my lips before I know it. Who was it?
修二君。
Who did this to my dad? Who was it? I deserve whatever I get for my stupidity. But not my dad. He did nothing. He was always so cheerful, no matter how hard the situation. He loved his wife, he loved his job, and he worked hard for his family, for me. Who would target someone like him? Who would do something so horrible? Why, goddammit? Why my dad? Damn it! God fucking damn it! Just then, Tsumugi holds her bottle out toward my dad. Glowing white feathers spill forth and are absorbed into him.
ああ、不思議だな、その光は。とても温かいんだね。
おまじないです。楽になったら少し眠ってください。それがいいと思いますから。
My dad is carried to his bedroom. Tsumugi, are you sure about that? Those were all your fragments.
いいよ。この分は犯人に返してもらおう。 修二君のお父さんの心はお父さんのものなんだから。そうだよね、綾千さん。
ええ、もちろんです。七尾も構いませんね。
勘違いしてはいないか、ねね。所詮アルプの世界のルールはアルプ自身を守るためのものだ。
七尾。
必要以上に人間を傷つけては魔女と円満な共闘関係を築くのは難しくなるからな。
Soma-san stands up from the wall she was leaning on.
だがこいつは許せん。私のテリトリーでこれほど勘に触る真似をされたのは生まれて初めてだ。草の根分けても探したし、決して野放しにはしない。必ず犯した罪を償わせてやると約束しよう。
Soma-san has always acted composed, never letting her emotions show. I thought that was largely because she was an elf and didn't actually have any emotions to show. But now she's laying her emotions bare. Thank you, Soma-san. And thank you, Tsumugi. If there's anything I can do to help, anything at all, just tell me.
ああ、私からも正式に協力を要請させてもらう。もうしのごの言ってはいられないからな。
じゃあこのこと赤城にも。
We hear the fluttering of a bird's wings just outside the window. Looking over, we see a single large raven speeding into the distance. Was that Akagi? Was she listening in?
またシーバさんを見張っていたのでしょうか。
I don't know, but... Ah!
ひょっとして修二君も思い出した？
You too, Tsumugi?
どうした？何か思い当たることでもあったのか？
I tell them how we saw Akagi going down the same road as my dad last night. She didn't seem to notice us at all back then.
つまり見張っていたのはシーバさんではなく星名君のお父さんだった可能性があると。
もちろん犯人っていうより何か知ってるかもって。
やれやれ、犯人じゃないなら怪しい行動を取るのはやめてほしいものだな。
少なくとも犯行を目撃した可能性は高いのでは。その道へ入っていったなら星名君のお父さんが倒れていた場所は通り道のはずです。
ならなおのこと見たことを話していけばいいものを。
赤城のことは私に任せてもらえませんか？多分素直になれないだけだと思いますから。
いいだろう。私では喧嘩になるだけかもしれないからね。他に気になることがあるなら話しておいてくれ。情報は共有しておこう。
Oh, that reminds me. What was with that dog raising set?
それならそっちにあるよ。
She turned me so I can look at it. So the set is here, but the puppy in question isn't, and there's no sign of it having been used either. Didn't he say yesterday that he took in an abandoned puppy?
散歩の途中で襲われて逃げられたということだろうか。
その可能性は高そうですが、子犬、昨日拾ったばかりなんですか？
そう言ってたけど、どうかした？
いえ、敦馬さんが預かっていた子犬も行方がわからなくなっているのを思い出したんですが。
You think it's a coincidence? Could this be the same puppy I saw walking around the town several days ago?
待ってくれ。どちらも子犬なんだな。成犬ではなく。
Supposedly, yeah, though I never saw the one my dad mentioned.
ひょっとしてそういうことなのか。
七尾、何か？
いや、確証はない。いずれにせよ赤城の話を聞くのが先だろう。先入観を持たずに当たってほしい。
はい、わかりました。やってみます。
That being said, it's not going to be easy getting a hold of Akagi. She can fly wherever she pleases. Thankfully, it seems Tsumugi has a trick up her sleeve.
まずはスーパーに寄ろう。
Huh?
今ならタイムセールがあるはずだから。
Is she thinking of preparing dinner or something?
よし、できたよ。
This looks delicious. The table is covered with chicken dumplings, boiled turnips, and meatloaf. You're not just slacking off or anything, are you?
当たり前だよ。これは作戦なんだから。赤城は神出鬼没だけど、こっちから捕まえるのは難しいでしょ？
Yeah, I'd say so.
だったら向こうから来てもらうしかないでしょ？
So you made all this food to lure her in?
赤城は鳥団子が大好物なんだよ。
A bird eating other birds? What a simple plan. Would she really let herself be baited by chicken dumplings? I do remember her talking about chicken dumplings before, though. Wait a moment. Akagi's a raven, right?
そうだけど、今さらそれがどうかした？
Well, I mean, chickens are birds, right?
だからどうしてそんな当たり前のこと？
Isn't that a tad cannibalistic?
ちょっと待って。今までもずっと普通に食べてたんだよ。おいしいおいしいって。週に1回か2回は必ず。ひょっとして私、ずっと赤城に共食いを。バカ者。
A voice enters the room from the veranda.
同じ鳥だからといってあっちを鶏などと同じにされては困る。
Akagi, you actually showed up.
言っておくが別に食べ物に釣られたわけではないからな。何か話がありそうなので振ってやっただけじゃ。
Or so she says. She's still heading straight for the dinner table. Tsumugi serves her up some white rice.
はい赤城。紬、ポン酢が出ておらんぞ。鳥団子にはポン酢じゃろ。
Are you really okay with being a cannibal?
だから共食いではない。人間とて同じ哺乳類でも猿の肉を喜ぶものは少ないだろう。だが牛や豚の肉を食べるではないか。同じ鳥類でもあっちと鶏では種としての品位に差があるのじゃ。
Is there? All birds look the same to me. What, really? I think you need glasses.
人間はすぐ見た目にとらわれる。あっちには哺乳類も2本足か4本足かの差しかないように思えるがな。だいたい飛べもせんやつらと一括りにされているのは納得いくん。
Akagi uses one of her hands to stuff her face with meatloaf while using the other to dip her dumplings in soy sauce.
やはり紬の料理は絶品じゃな。あっちが人間になった暁には専属料理人として雇ってやってもいいくらいじゃ。赤城と一緒に食事をするのも久しぶりだね。それで話があったのではないのか。赤城知ってるんだよね。修二君のお父さんが襲われたこと。無論じゃ。餌に使わせてもらったのだからな。
You used him?
釣りの餌じゃ。犯人は心が脆くなっているものを選んで襲っていたのだろう。なら餌を見つけて襲いに来るのを待つ方が賢明であろう。
You Lily, so you knew there was a good chance my dad would be attacked? But you just used him?
でなければどうしてあっちが現場の近くにいたと思うのじゃ。まさかあっちが直に襲ったとでも言うつもりか。
Of course, Tsumugi and I realize that Akagi isn't the culprit. But what she's done is barely any different. Has nothing Tsumugi told her sunk in?
どうした？お前たちもあっちを誘い出すために餌を用意したのではないか。赤城。
Tsumugi stabs a dumpling with her chopsticks and thrusts it towards Akagi.
犯人を見たんだね。それを私たちに教えてくれるつもりで出てきてくれたんじゃないの？
犯人はアルプでも魔女でもない。だから七尾も見つけられず苦戦しているのじゃろう。ハッチも最初目の前にいることに気づかなかったくらいじゃ。
What do you mean?
あれはアルプになりかけているだけのただの動物じゃ。ルールはもちろん善悪の区別もつかず暴走しているだけなのだろう。
So who is it then?
修二君。
The dog. Are you screwing with me?
そいつの名前じゃ。
Are you actually... Wait, don't tell me.
じゃあやっぱりあの子なの？私たちが初馬さんに預けたあの子犬なの？それをまた修二君のお父さんが拾ったってことなの？
そうなるのであろうな。見た目の姿はアルプになる寸前、アルプとしての年齢に書き換えられる。子犬に見えても実際には弱い20に近い老犬じゃろ。
Come to think of it, Soma-san looks like a kitten when she enters her animal form. So we found it in adult dog clothes because it had just completed its transformation. And then we caused this by giving it to Atsuma-san.
そうなるかもな。だが成り立てであれば自分でもアルプになりかけていることに気づかぬ場合もある。小僧が気づかなくても無理はないと思うがな。
Still, knowing that we are the ones who started this is shocking.
修二君、他の人が拾わなくてよかったんだよ。それじゃあ誰も気づけないまま被害者だけ増えることになったと思う。事情を知ってる私たちだからおかしいって気づけたんだから。
Yeah, I know. At least we know who the culprit is now.
あとはみんなで協力して捕まえよう。
みんなで？なぜじゃ？
Akagi snorts derisively at us. It's not at all like her usual laugh.
見つけたのはあっちじゃぞ。お前たちはガン首揃えて何もできなかったのではないか。このままお前たちだけで捜査を続けたとしても成果を上げられたかどうかさえ怪しいもんじゃ。
Maybe, but it's true that even if we did think of using someone as bait, I never would have been able to use my dad. Okay, so what are you getting at?
あっちはただ七尾より先に犯人を見つけてギャフンと言わせてやりたいだけじゃ。人間にどれだけ被害が出ようとあっちには関係ないことじゃな。
What was that?
なのに協力などしたら目的が果たせなくなってしまうではないか。
You're the worst.
もともとあっちは人間が嫌いだと言わなかったか？実はもうねぐらも押さえてある。あとは踏み込めばいいだけ。どっちにしろ協力など不要じゃ。
Then could you at least return the heart fragments you get from the culprit? I suppress my displeasure at her methods and plead for her help. Returning my dad and Atsuma-san back to normal is what matters most.
バカを言え。あっちが見つけたのだからあっちがいただく。
赤木。
If I were a human right now, I would have grabbed her by the shoulders. No, actually, I don't think I would. Not with the tears Tsumugi is shedding.
なんじゃその顔は。あっちは当然の権利を主張しているだけじゃ。
どうしてそんなに無理してるの？
何？
私には赤木が無理して悪ぶってるようにしか見えないよ。だって赤木はそこまで悪い子じゃないはずだもん。どうして無理してまで悪い子になろうとするの？お願いだから修二君のお父さんを元に戻してあげて。
Even Akagi is shaken by this, but her expression remains as smug as ever.
あっちはもともとこうしてきたのじゃ。ちょっとこ
うしてきたはずなのじゃ。今までは七尾に遠慮してきたが、もうあっちの方が上なのじゃぞ。あいつのようにあっちは人間に登場したりはせん。登場などしては効率よくかけらを集めることができんではないか。そんなのは出来損ないのアルプがすることなのじゃ。
Akagi bitterly rants and raves. But through seeing this, I can tell that Tsumugi was right. I don't know why, but she's forcing this act upon herself. Hey Akagi, remember how you told me why it is you want to be human? Was that a lie?
友達とそれ以外の人間は違う。
My question failed to perturb her any further. In fact, it seems to have helped her regain her composure. Forget about me. Isn't Tsumugi one of your friends?
その通りじゃ。魔女とアルプの間に友情などあってたまるか。もともとお互い目的のため利用し合う関係なのじゃ。
Do you not realize how sad that way of thinking is?
修二君、もういいよ。紬、赤木、私ちゃんと分かってるつもりだから。魔女の契約をするとき、無茶な前借りを申し出る私に本当は困って止めようとしてくれてたこと。修二君が風邪で倒れたとき、本当は慌てて知らせに来てくれたこと。それを見て私はただごとじゃないって思ったんだから。
Was that why she took the day off school to come and look after me?
遊園地へ行く前の夜、あんまり嬉しくて私なかなか眠れなかった。あの時私の取り留めのない話をずっと隣で聞いててくれたでしょ。赤木、迷惑そうにしながらも嬉しそうに笑ってたんだよ。だから後で修二君とお菓子の取引をしてたと知った時も本気では怒れなかった。赤木なりに私たちを応援しようとしてくれてたんだって分かってたつもりだから。
Tsumugi looks directly into Akagi's eyes.
私はずっと赤木を友達だと思ってた。今もそう信じてるから。くだらん。
Akagi averts her gaze.
あっちは自分の目的に従ってきただけじゃ。それ以上でも以下でもない。そうなのかな。当たり前じゃ。そんなに信じたければ勝手に信じていろ。せいぜい裏切られて仲ようにすることじゃな。
Akagi slams down her chopsticks and stands up. Aren't you going to finish your dumplings? I thought they were your favorite.
バカにするでない。あっちは。じゃあ残りはまた今度食べよう。ちゃんと赤木の分も残しておくから。勝手にするのじゃ。
Akagi transforms back into a raven and leaves through the same window she came in. Why is she being so stubborn? Was she that bothered by what we said?
とにかく相馬さんたちにも報告した方がいいよね。
Yeah, we should. We know who the culprit is now, but there hasn't been that much progress. In fact, if Akagi truly plans on taking all the fragments for herself, then things have just gotten even worse. We are all going to have to chase after Akagi together.
なるほど、そういうことか。
Soma-san responds to Tsumugi's report in a calm tone. Tsumugi has set her phone to speaker mode, so I can hear the conversation.
真犯人については子犬が関わってると聞いた時点で予想はしていた。だが赤木一人で対処させるのはまずい。
まさか本気とは思いませんけど、毎日かけらを自分のものにするつもりなら。
もちろんそれも問題だ。だがそうではない。先日シュバルツカッツで取り押さえた時、私は偶然気づいてしまったんだ。だが 赤城は多分自分じゃまだ気づいていないのだろう。
Now that she mentions it, I do remember Soma-san acting strangely. What do you mean?
いいかい。アルプも生体に近づくほど人間に近い心を持つようになっていく。それはつまりアルプもかけらを生み出したり心に穴が開く可能性があるということなんだ。
She has a hole in her heart?
まさか。
If so, this is bad. Actually, this may be the worst case scenario. The bastard we are dealing with seeks out people with weak hearts and attacks them. He appears excited. He's panting heavily and drooling wildly. One could easily mistake him for being rabid. Fire burns in its eyes in anticipation of the hunt to come. He's restless, unable to stay still. However, he has a silent observer high in the sky, watching as he crawls from its den and heads out on the prowl. That observer is Akagi. Eventually, the puppy sets its sights on a single passerby. Akagi folds her jet black wings in and swoops down. The dog takes an aggressive stance and lets out a low growl. And yet the passerby still doesn't realize that something is behind him. Have these humans completely forgotten their links to the wilderness?
やめておくのじゃな。あれは食ってもうまそうにない。
Upon hearing Akagi's cry, the puppy jumps back and lowers its body to the ground. These are actions of someone used to the hunt. Its diminutive looks belie its true age.
どうした？まだ進化はできんのか。同類に会うのは初めてと見えるな。
This time, he doesn't growl. Instead, he glares at Akagi while circling around her.
お前は知らんようだが、かけらの集め方にもルールがある。新米は先輩アルプからそれを教わるものじゃぞ。
She smiles wryly as she remembers how Nanao once drilled the rules into her. But of course, Akagi has no intention of helping this puppy out for free.
勉強代じゃ。お前が無茶な方法で集めたかけらはあっちがいただこう。ほう、威嚇しておるつもりか。それとも人化もできぬひよっこが生意気にテリトリーを主張しているのか。まあよい。身の程を教えてやるのも教育の一環じゃろう。
The puppy leaps forward at Akagi, but she hasn't exactly lived a life of luxury herself. Akagi easily dodges the puppy and restores the distance between them.
なかなか素早い動きじゃが、まさかあっちを弱いと思っておるのか。この程度では触れることも。
For reasons Akagi doesn't understand, the puppy turns around and sprints off.
逃げるか。いや、そうではなさそうじゃ。もしや。
The puppy had ignored Akagi in order to go after its previous target. It jumps up, attempting to sink its fangs into the man's back, right where his heart should be. Except... the puppy is launched in the other direction by an invisible force. The passerby runs away as Akagi leisurely strolls up.
バカなやつめ。人間の心は脆いようで案外強いのじゃ。かけらを回収できるのは通常より大きくなりすぎた時だけ。強引に削り取るには相当に弱っていなくては、そのような目に遭うのがオチなのじゃ。
As Akagi scolds the puppy, she realizes how she's praising the strength of humans.
バカな。あっちは何を考えておる。あっちは人間に同情などせん。出来損ないのアルプではないのじゃ。
Akagi takes her eyes off the dog in the midst of her internal conflict, and the puppy seizes that opportunity to flee again.
えい、面倒なやつじゃな。どうせなら立ち向かってこんか。
After some time, Akagi finally manages to catch up to the puppy.
Oh, お母さん。
Akagi There she finds a crying child. Perhaps he has gotten lost. The puppy is charging straight at him.
あいつ、もしや。
Is he targeting people with weak hearts? The puppy is as good as captured. Akagi simply has to wait for him to attack the child and stab him in the back then. But she has the child's safety to consider. If she goes with that plan, the child may still end up getting hurt. She wouldn't put it past the dog to prioritize getting a bite over its own safety. Having no time for her internal conflict, she makes her decision. Why should she care what happens to a human child? The thought crosses her mind, but before she knows it, she has grabbed hold of the dog and is now grappling with him on the ground. After some time trading blows, they both jump away and stare each other down from a distance.
逃げぬか小僧。さっさと親鳥のところへでも帰るのだな。
She hears footsteps rapidly disappearing behind her as she confronts the puppy. He won't escape this time. For some reason, a sense of duty is welling up within her. She finds herself enraged at the way the dog targets the weak of heart. Akagi was there when Shuji's dad was attacked, and she failed to consider the puppy dangerous. She was confident then that she could have moved in to help should things have turned south. But the consequences of her naivety have been made abundantly clear. She had no excuse for the way things turned out. That is the real reason for the tough facade she put on in front of Shuji.
これ以上お前の好き勝手にはさせん。星を聞かしてほしいなら望むだけくれてやろう。
Something was wrong though. The puppy seemed calm in its actions. It wasn't trying to run away this time.
ほう、まだ力の差がわからぬと見え。
Akagi's knees buckle, having been drained of their strength. She looks down at her arm in a daze. There is a small wound there. The puppy's fangs had come into contact with her in their scuffle. But that alone shouldn't have hurt her so much. If Akagi was in a usual state, that is...
なんだ。もしや、これはあっちの心が。
Glistening feathers flutter to the ground. This is the cue that finally allows her to realize the warped, weakened state of her heart. That the shell has been cracked and a hole has been opened. And that it was caused by the promise she failed to keep 50 years prior. Akagi already knew the truth, that by now her friend has most likely already passed away. The more her heart became human, the more that anxiety strengthened within her. That anxiety more than anything drove her desire to become human as soon as possible. She was frantic but also petrified. Petrified of her weakness and how she'd have to resign herself to the truth. The puppy watches Akagi collapse to the ground before finally going after her fragments.
やめんか。
She reaches out a hand to stop him. But even a few feet feel like a mile to her right now. Her opponent pays her no mind as he leaps at her exposed fragments. He mercilessly gorges on his meal.
やめろ。それはあっちの大切な約束なのじゃ。やめて。
But just in the nick of time, a small framed girl jumps in before her. Soma-san followed Akagi's scent all the way here. We've arrived to see Akagi kneeling before the puppy. Fortunately, I'm in my human form for this. But someone else acted before me, and even Soma-san. Tsumugi! However, the puppy knocks Tsumugi back. You really can't judge a book by its cover. Tsumugi, are you okay? I hurry over to her side and hold her in my arms. Akagi, unable to keep up with this string of events, is frozen in place on her bottom.
やってくれたな。
こんな子犬が犯人だったとは。 見かけによらないようですね。
The puppy judges the situation to have him at a disadvantage and bounds away.
私が追おう。後のことは任せる。
頼みます、七尾。
紬。
Akagi finally totters over to our side.
大丈夫。ちょっとびっくりしちゃっただけ。
Phew, I'm the shocked one. That was reckless.
ごめんね。でもほら、赤木。
Tsumugi is clutching some small feathers.
それはこれは半分くらいは向こうへ持っていかれちゃったみたいだけど、なんとかこれだけは守れたよ。
Tsumugi places them in Akagi's palm.
あっちのねえ赤木、自分の心を失うのはとても痛いことだったでしょ。とてもひどいことだったでしょ。だから赤木には同じことをしてほしくないな。もっとかけらが必要なら私がもっと頑張るから。それじゃいけないかな。
Tears start streaming down Akagi's face.
おかしいのじゃ。あっちはおかしくなってしまったのじゃ。今まで平気でできたことが平気じゃなくなってしまったのじゃ。
Akagi?
一番大切な約束だったはずなのじゃ。なのに他のことも大切に思えてしまうことがある。時に一番大切なことまで霞んでしまうくらい。だから以前小僧にまだまだ人間に程遠いと言われた時、ぐさりときた。
Huh?
もう50年も経ってしまったのじゃ。もっと急がねば。もっと最短距離で約束を果たさねばならぬのに迷ってしまう。だから今まで通りのあっちに戻りたかった。戻れないのは人間に程遠いせいなんじゃろう。一番大切なはずなのに、どうしてあっちはハルプとしても人間としても出来損ないなのじゃ。
I'm sorry, Akagi. I was mistaken. I'm only realizing now how harsh that statement was. Words can even hurt an elf like Akagi. You know, when humans are worried, embarrassed, or nervous, or whenever things are going badly, we always try to go back to our usual selves as well. And oftentimes that mindset only leads to further problems and misunderstandings. That's why things were so rocky for me and Tsumugi at the start. Humans are not perfect, we all make mistakes. So, I was wrong about you. You're already plenty human.
修二、私もそう思うよ。赤木、紬、ありがとう。二人とも。あっちの約束を守ってくれてありがとう。
Akagi clutches her return fragments as hard as she can. A crowd begins to form around us, but Ayachi-san manages to drive them all away. Not long after, Soma-san comes back.
すまない。一部とはいえ赤城のかけらを吸収したせいだろう。私でも単純な追いかけっこでは勝てそうもない。
そうですか。厄介ですね。私たちが追っていることにも気づかれたはずですから。
おそらく赤城が掴んだねぐらも変えてくるだろう。
今後はますます探しづらくなりそうですね。
The two of them are acting perfectly calm. But I know they're in pain. Nobody likes seeing people suffer like this. There's a way.
修二君、
There's a way for us to find him. Like hell I'm letting him get away. Not while he's got a hold of something so important to us. I have a feeling that this is something only I can do.
サノバウィッチ。